for general family viewing.
Hello and welcome to Beyond the Limit. My name is Zainab Mohammed. In the previous episodes, we had talked about addiction, but addiction being a very wide topic, we decided that we had not covered enough on that episode, and therefore this is Addiction Part 2. To discuss this important topic with me is Dr. Jane Nutu, who's sitting right next to me. Dr. Jane is the CEO and founder, Mind and Beyond Wellness Center. Dr. Rehab Gattushi at the center, who's a clinical psychologist and lecturer, Mount Kenya University, Nairobi campus. And at the farthest end is Dr. Sarah Kimaru Mushai, Dean School of Social Sciences and Coordinator Persons with Disability, Mount Kenya University. Thank you so much for making time to join me on this show, and karibuni sana. So, of course, to start us off, Dr. Jane, as it is our usual routine, on addiction, is there a difference between addiction and a dependence?
There is a difference in that when it comes to addiction, dependence starts. But it begins with, first of all, maybe I can take you back a bit. Curiosity and experimentation. Maybe you tasted alcohol, you felt it tastes good. Smoking a cigarette, and then it becomes a routine. Then you start getting dependent. Dependence is when now the body starts to crave for more, even when the consequences are there. You can actually see it's taking a lot of your time. You are sleeping a lot, you are running after the alcohol or smoking or whatever it is, masturbation. It's taking a lot toll of your thinking. You are preoccupied about the substance. So dependence also is when you have the withdrawal symptoms. Maybe you are trying to stop drinking. In the morning, you start shivering, you are sweating, you are fainting, and you realize now you need to take something even bigger. Like if you are used to one thought, now you are taking two thoughts. You are taking 3, 4. The body is accommodating. You see people stepping on a crate of beer, and they drink the whole of it because the body has now started to deteriorate. And when you try to withdraw, you get sick. And people are wondering, why are you shivering? Why are you shaking? Why are your voice, you are not audible? That is now how now we progress to addiction. When it comes to addiction now, it is now total dependence or severity of running after the substance. Addiction is now where you feel you can totally do without it. It is the enslavement. It is a disease. It's a red flag that is like, now I need help. Yes.
So dependence is what makes it hard for people to now quit addiction?
Yes, because now it's like if they try to quit, the body reacts negatively. Yes.
Dr. Rehab, can addiction lead to mental health disorders?
Oh yes, addiction leads to mental health issues because for one, when one gets addicted to a substance or even to a behavior, perception begins to change. The way people think begin to change. The way people behave begins to change. Of course, the body begins to adapt to that, maybe a chemical substance or something like that, which will change your routine. It will change the things that you do. It will also change, it will affect the mind. And that means that your mind now cannot comprehend things the way it normally should. So definitely now you find that one is the whole person begins to change the way they behave. You will also realize that because of getting addicted to a substance or a behavior, one can get anxiety, they can get depression, lifestyle changes. You find that somebody will have problems with their esteem, so they'll have esteem issues. In other words, what we are saying is that addictions will definitely lead to mental health issues.
So all these things can crop up from addiction.
Oh yes, they will crop up from addiction.
Actually, it is true because you realize that now when someone is depressed, they will run for the addiction to cope, to numb the feelings. You're feeling anxious, you want to feel better. So what do? You go look for a cigarette, you go look for a beer. And also people who have psychosis, most of them, and other psychological disorders like schizophrenia, you realize they have addiction, underlying issues of addiction, because their life is not functional, and they are trying to find out a way of being functional. But now they do it the wrong way by getting addicted to smoking or drinking alcohol.
Because now the addiction makes it worse.
It makes it worse, and if you are also predisposed to even becoming a sexual addict, because you realize that the body, you are vulnerable. It's a cyclic kind of a disease that predisposes people to so many other issues in life.
Yes, and it reaches a time when somebody now feels they want to self-medicate, trying to run away. So they look for the substance to self-medicate.
But then the substance makes it worse.
It now becomes worse.
Dr. Sarah, has the society contributed to the rampant growth of addiction?
It depends on whom we call the society. So like maybe we would start with at family level. We have found that some of the children, like I've spoken to some of the university students, whom I've closely related with, and they will tell you they started it as if it was part of the meal, like in their family, or during party time. That's when they would be introduced to alcohol or wine, and they started slowly, and they built a habit. They now build a habit of thinking this is a good thing. Why not take it more oftenly? And as time goes by, they get addicted. There is also the other part of, again, children who feel neglected. Yeah, there are people, there are families who have also, they don't care where the child is, they don't know what the child is doing, and so to some extent the child gets influenced by other peers, and slowly they are introduced to drugs, they are introduced now to alcohol, and they find that becomes part of their company, because they have the parents are not there for them, their family members are not there for them. And so they find a place where they can be nested, or a place where they can be accommodated. And slowly they also make drugs and alcohol part of their lifestyle. Then we also have now at the societal level, we also know that there are issues like poverty. People have felt that their livelihoods are so much constrained, such that now they look for something to be their solace. And in the process, they think that if I take one alcohol and I go to do these 1, 2, 3 things, and of course the society has solutions to problems. So when we talk of poverty, they feel they want solutions, quick solutions to what they are going through. They want something to make them forget of the challenges they are going through. And so in the process, they get addicted just because they found themselves in a challenge. And maybe that is something that maybe the society can help in. We have a lot of stereotypes surrounding the problems we go through. Whereas some people will go to extreme religious beliefs, other people now get indulged. They get to be indulged into issues of drugs just because they are looking for solution to their problem. And by they get addicted. We also think about the government and what it does. Has it regulated the provision of drugs and alcohol? And so in the process, because of weak regulations, they feel people find themselves that there is excess of alcohol, there is excess of drugs available to the individuals. And so they find these things are readily available. And by when they need them, they can take them. So people get addicted into this. The issues of mental health are real. We are having issues of a lot of mental health issues, and people would think that if I take 1, 2, 3 things, I take these drugs, I take the other, and by they graduate. They will move, just as my colleagues have said, they start small, And then they continue to graduate when they find this is not giving gratification or satisfaction. Yes, and of course their friends are also telling them, try this one, it's better than the other one. So, and that is what is contributing. So society in one way or the other may have contributed to addiction.
Yeah, because you can even get drugs that have been banned, but they're readily available to even high school students, campus students and stuff like that. Dr. Jane, is it correct to assume that technology advancement has heightened the rate of addiction?
I think definitely it's true. Today, if you even enter a matatu or these buses, they have a big screen, you know. So you are being entertained, and whatever is there may be about advertisements about this certain alcohol or nude women or men. So you realize that we are normalizing. It's like the society has started to normalize these things, and social media to a great extent has really contributed. When you have the gadgets at home and the children can access them, internet has become part of every house, every office, everywhere. So it's easy to switch from one movie to another, not like before. And this has really caused people now to open up to these things. And it is important for parents to really be aware. As they are sending their children to school, as they are reading at home, as they pay for the internet, are they having parental control? Are you interested with what your child has been watching the whole day when you are away from work? Have a conversation with your child. Let them tell you, and you'll be able to know. They will start changing their behaviors, and you will be able to know there's something wrong about this child, and you can arrest. Social media is a big thing in addiction.
Dr. Ray, have anything to add on that?
Yes, social media has caused a little bit of, not a little bit, but quite a bit of hype that has caused addiction in some of the behaviors that we see, and also some of the substances, because there is that unique way of introducing substances through the social media to unsuspecting young people, and even some adults. So you'll find some people, they are like socialized to believe that it is okay to smoke. Like my colleague had said earlier, you find that like in public transport, you find those big, screens, and there are those ladies and men that are half naked, and they are puffing on, those huge cigarettes and all that. And, the young people, high school students, university students are watching this, and even adults, and you find it looks so beautiful to watch those things. So even the issues of sex addiction, they are right there on the phone. You can watch nudity, you can watch people having sex, you can watch all those things. And as you continually watch these things, your mind is hooked, and addiction will set in earlier than you even knew. And with all this watching of movies and the internet and communications and all that, you cannot avoid to have young people getting easily hooked to substances and certain behaviors.
The news that matters the most is the one that hits close to home. When disasters strike, we are there to inform you. When the bullets are flying, we tell you who's shooting and why. Reporting on your victories, your health, your money, your security, your past, present, and future. We are interested in telling the stories of creativity, hard work, and resilience that you are known for.
That is our job. This is my job. My name is Victor Moyakane, and it's my honor to bring you this news, this way, every Thursday night on the home of Untold Stories.
Katika majengo haya, hapa ndipo sheria zinapotungwa na zinapopakuliwa. Nitakuletea viongozi mbalimbali, mirengo mbalimbali, wote kwa pamoja wakipika na kupakua. Tutawapa nafasi kuweza kuangazia changamoto na mafanikio ya ugatuzi katika ukumbi.
Dr. Sarah, how can the society be included in the treatment of those suffering from addiction?
Because we have said addiction is actually a disease by itself, I feel there is much that we can do to help those who are addicted, in that we can try to see how to offer treatment for persons who are in addiction, because there is readily available treatment in many places. There have several rehabilitation centers that have been put up. But I would wish that we start with a way of trying to avoid it, not to get there, like more of awareness creation on what is addiction. How will you get to know that you're now addicted, and how can you stop getting there? Those are some of the things that, instead of waiting until we are in it, in the deep end, we can find a way of making sure that these are things that at institution level, at primary schools, we are teaching about what is drug. How can you prevent yourself from getting there? Even in the universities, let it be part of a common unit, because we would previously, when HIV knocked in, it was considered as a common unit almost at all university levels. Why don't we make also drug abuse a unit? It may not be examinable, but it can be something that every other person is made to know. That what are drugs, and how do you get to abuse drugs, and how do you get to addiction. And so I think that's one of the ways. And the other thing is, for those who are in addiction, we need to also find bring up or come up with recovery systems, where we have put up places for which are going to help those who are recovering. We realize that rehabilitation is quite expensive, and the centers that have been put up, like in our nation, I don't think there's any that goes for less than 100,000, and that is very expensive for average families. So if only that maybe the society can come up with ways even to create support groups for those who are recovering, I think we could help a great deal. Then we need also to be encouraging these people who have been in addiction and are ready to get back to being normal, such that we are able to encourage them more through. Let's encourage them, let's embrace them. You know, some may have gone to the levels of they were walking nude, like what you have mentioned, you know, because they were under influence. And maybe the society had rejected them. I think we need to have a way of embracing them. I've found the same way we have support systems for people who go to prison. By the time they come back, the society is prepared how to receive them. And I love that. That's very recommendable. Why can't we also do the same for also those who are in drugs? If one had taken a lot of bangi and they've gone to the extent of doing extreme deviant behaviors, we also need to see how do we receive them back, how do we bring them back to normal. And that can only be done by the society, where we have seen this is what has happened, this person has gone through the rehabilitation and is now coming, has recovered, and now how do we accept that they are now okay, and now they can be entrusted on duties that are maybe in workplaces or even in the church. You know, they are also stigmatized. These people are people who are seen as if they have gone to hell.
Like the society writes them off.
Yes, the society rejects them. But if we agree that these are people, they are part of us, let's treat them normally, let's accommodate them, and we offer the much support we can. So such that we know what led them there, and we know what to avoid, and we know how to receive them back. That's my take, yes.
Thank you, Dr. Sarah. Dr. Jane, can family be blamed in some cases of addiction? Can it play a part in?
Yes and no. Because some people get addicted as adults. Maybe they have already left the family and they start acquiring some behaviors. Yes, because the family is the very important unit in the family, in the society. Children are growing up there. If a mother is undressing, taking shower in front of her child, it means that child will become curious as they grow. So some families don't set boundaries about how they behave. Then some other families have bars in the house. So it's normalized. Drinking is normalized, and they are socialized that way. So it's the cultural aspect in drinking, because it's fun, it's good, it's healthy. And if the family now is an open family where they take in everything, then it means the children will grow up in that family, and they will think it's normal to smoke, or if a father is sending the son, bring me cigarettes, and they are smoking in front of them. If a dad is even giving the child some alcohol to taste, that means that child, you're like, it's fine. So by the time now they grow up, it will be so difficult for them to stop. So from the family level, it's very important to have awareness that we are modeling future leaders, future parents, and a little mistake can bring a lot of consequences in the future. Yeah.
Talk to us about treatment options, Dr. Rehab.
Yes, people can be treated for addictions, and there are many ways that we can treat addictions. One of them is, and one of the major ways of doing this is containing people in a controlled environment. Like we would say that they can be put under rehabilitation, where they would take time. It has been recommended that people can take 90 days in a rehabilitation center, where they'll be detoxified, and then they'll be counseled, and then group therapy is done, which has helped to a certain percentage. However, it has been found that even after going through rehabilitation, there's a lot of people who maybe will get back into the use of the substance because the environment that they come back to is still the same. So, but maybe 10% will be helped through rehabilitation and detoxification. The other thing that can help in addiction is social support, like family support. It plays a big role, because one can be, they'll feel accepted when the family recognizes that these people are sick, and they just need to be appreciated and helped through the problem. Some addictions also, people have gone through therapy, CBT, group therapy. They have also gone through psychoeducation, and many people have come through it. One way of also helping people out of addiction is exposure to religious beliefs. I say this with, well, not with so much emphasis, because it can be quite controversial, but religious leaders have worked with the people by teaching them, the word of God, that will help them change their mindset. Because this issue of mindset change is an important thing. But you see, for you to change your mindset, you have to remove what is there and put in something else. So religious leaders have helped in teaching a person who is addicted to something the word of God, so as to replace what they already know with the word. And this can be from any kind of any religion, Christian, Muslim, and so on, if the leaders would fill the mind of this person with, with the word or the teachings of the religion, it will now drive out what they had concentrated on regarding their being hooked to those substances or to certain behavior. So what we are saying is that people can be helped out of addiction. However, we have a lot of work to do to bring people out of addiction, because it looks like it is increasing by the day. Yeah.
So 2 questions, because we are running out of time. Dr. Jane and Dr. Sarah. For Dr. Jane, is the government doing enough? For Dr. Sarah, how can we include the government? How can the government be involved in the eradication of addiction in the society? Just briefly.
Yeah, I think the Kenyan government right now, they are very focused. And you realize it began with the former president Uhuru, when he formed a task force about the mental health after COVID. Because actually these evils came around that time. A lot of abuse, a lot of addiction, idleness, people staying at home. So the results of the task force are being implemented even by the current government. So I think the government is really trying, coming up with rehab centers and talking to the people, general population, about mental health, addictions, and even bringing collaboration and conferences that people can meet and resonate together to look for a solution. For me, I can say that a lot still needs to be done, because we have not really gone to the rural areas, to the villages where you find there's a lot. But the chiefs, the local area, the county government, they can be recommended. Actually, we have seen people being taken to the courts now, being sort of alcohol being poured down, being caught, the people who are selling drugs.
Yes.
And hard drugs. Yeah. There's a lot being done. Yeah.
Okay, but there's a lot more to be done.
There's a lot more to be done.
Briefly, Dr. Sarah?
Where I would say that the government is doing enough and is putting a lot of effort, as my Dr. Jane has mentioned, but still we need to, we will pray that they still beef up, in that they need to break the drug chains that we have been having. They weaken those chains, because they are there and they are not done by any other individual. These are done by those who is who. And my message is that even to them that are practicing it, because they are cartels and they are in existence, as much as they make livelihoods out of other people's sufferings, because we have seen what drug abuse is doing, and even addiction is doing to our young people. I would pray that they may know that what goes around comes around. The things they would do to others, they might, in one way or the other, bounce back to them. So these are some of the things that people need to be informed, that riches cannot just be gathered anyhow. It matters how you amass wealth. At the same time, I would wish that the government may do something about our youths. In terms of employment. Many of the youths are getting into addiction because they feel they have nothing. There is a lot of idleness, and these people are educated, they have knowledge. And as we have said, what becomes who gives them company is a social media. So at the same time now, this, as we said, it hypes the issue of drug abuse, and because they simply have nothing that they are doing. So that is why they are getting there. So I wish the government can see what to do, so that our youths can get places, they can know what to do, they can be actively involved in the development of our country. And at the end of the day, I think we are going to enjoy the results of what the government is doing. May also the society also support what the government is doing. Some people will speak carelessly without knowing that some of these talks that we speak at family level, they're also getting to our children. We need to be responsible enough, even if we are critiquing what the government is doing, let's be wise. Because our young people are listening, they are hearing it, and we want to salvage them. They are the people we are watching on what will happen to them tomorrow, and they are the ones who shall give us support even in the future. And I know that even right now they have energies to give the government a lot of support and to contribute to the development of our country.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for making time. Our time is up.